Hey kids, today we're going to be doing a combo. I'm away at the YCS, but I still want something to do, to upload, So I'm going to be trying to break my record of saying a gigaplant 103 times in one video. Someone will probably count it in the comments. I don't know. Worst case, I will. Probably not, though. I don't think I want to do that again. Yeah. No, nothing else to really say. It's one copy of Wakaushi, does all this. So let's do that and start off. We're going to go ahead and scale Wakaushi, activate Wakaushi, scale Ben K from the deck, and then summon itself. Then we're going to activate Ben K. Ben K searches Soul Piercer. We're going to know the Soul Piercer and then make it Scarecrow. We're going to search for Bike and then pitch Bike for Scales, then pitch Scales for Scarecrow, and then summon back the Soul Piercer. Now we're going to sync the Atalantis, triggered sequence all of our effects. We will scale the Waka, mill the Biblisp, and search for Soul Peacemaker. Then Biblisp searches for Orphis. We're going to Peacemaker the Scarecrow away for a copy of Wagon, and then activate Wagon to switch itself to attack and search for Soul Piercer, which will equip to the Wagon. And then we'll overlay for Gear Gigant X. That triggers the Soul Piercer to search for Stealthy, and then we'll Gear Gigant for Cyberstein. Now we're going to go ahead and Pendulum Summon 2, and Orphis Scorpio trades out for Darling Tony Cobra. We don't care that we don't get the search. It doesn't matter. We've won the game. We're going to go ahead and trade out Gear Gigant for Lone Fire, and then Lone Fire for Gigaplant. Then we're going to go ahead and make Lambda to clear space, and then Cyberstein for Raptinus. We're going to Gigaplant for the Lone Fire, and then Lone Fire for Gigaplant, and then Gigaplant for Lone Fire. And then we're going to Lone Fire for Gigaplant. We're going to overlay two of the Gigaplants for Beatrice, and then Beatrice is going to send Exodius. We're going to Gigaplant for Gigaplant, and then link off for Traffic Ghost, and then Gigaplant for Gigaplant. We'll overlay for Ptolemy M7, and then add back Exodius. Then we're going to Gigaplant for Lone Fire Blossom. We'll link off into Traffic Ghost, and then summon Exodius. Then we'll Lone Fire for Gigaplant, and then Gigaplant for Lone Fire, and then Lone Fire for Gigaplant, and then we'll go ahead and Gigaplant for Lone Fire. From here, we'll Lone Fire for Gigaplant and overlay for Beatrice. Beatrice is going to be milling Exodius, and then we'll Gigaplant for Gigaplant, link off into Traffic Ghost, Gigaplant for Gigaplant, and then Gigaplant for Gigaplant. Now we're going to overlay for Ptolemy M7 and add Exodius back to our hand, and then we'll Gigaplant for Lone Fire. We're going to make Traffic Ghost and then summon the second Exodius and overlay for Super Dora. Then we'll Lone Fire for Gigaplant, Gigaplant for Lone Fire. Then activate Dora to make Raptinus a Towers, and then Lone Fire for Gigaplant. We'll Gigaplant for Lone Fire, and then Lone Fire for Gigaplant. Then we'll make Beatrice, and Beatrice is going to be milling the left leg. We're going to Gigaplant for Gigaplant, and then link off into Traffic Ghost. We'll Gigaplant for Gigaplant, and then Gigaplant for Gigaplant, and overlay for Ptolemy M7. Ptolemy M7 is going to be adding Exodius back to our hand, where then we're going to Gigaplant for Gigaplant. We'll link off into Traffic Ghost, and then Gigaplant for Gigaplant, then Gigaplant for Gigaplant, and overlay for Ptolemy M7. M7 is going to add the leg back to our hand, then we'll Gigaplant for Lone Fire, and link off into Saryuja. Then we'll put everything back and summon Exodius. We'll Lone Fire for Gigaplant, and then Gigaplant for Lone Fire. After it gets pumped, that'll pump the Lone Fire. Then we're going to Gigaplant or Lone Fire for Gigaplant. Then we're going to pump the Gigaplant. Then we're going to Gigaplant for Lone Fire, which pumps the Lone Fire. Then we'll Lone Fire for Gigaplant. That pumps the Gigaplant. Here we're going to overlay for Beatrice. That's going to trigger Saryuja, and we'll chain Beatrice to mill Exodius. And we'll Gigaplant for Gigaplant. That pumps the Gigaplant, and then we'll make Traffic Ghost. Now we're going to Gigaplant for Gigaplant, and then Gigaplant for Gigaplant. We'll overlay for Ptolemy M7, add back the Exodius, and then Gigaplant for Lone Fire. We'll link off into Traffic Ghost and summon Exodius, and then overlay for Super Dora. Dora is going to make Raptinus a Towers, and then we'll Lone Fire for Gigaplant, Gigaplant for Lone Fire for Gigaplant, and then Gigaplant for Lone Fire. We'll Lone Fire for Gigaplant, and then overlay for Beatrice, and send a copy of the left leg, or right leg rather. Then we'll Gigaplant for Gigaplant and make Traffic Ghost. We'll go ahead and bring back Gigaplant and overlay for M7. We're going to add Exodius back to our hand, and then we'll Gigaplant for Gigaplant and link over to Traffic Ghost. Gigaplant for Gigaplant, that's going to allow us to Gigaplant for Gigaplant and overlay for M7, adding the second leg to our hand. We'll Gigaplant for Lone Fire, and then make Lambda and Saryuja, and then we will summon Exodius. We're going to pump the Exodius and then Lone Fire for Gigaplant. That's going to allow us to Gigaplant for Lone Fire and then activate the effect of Lone Fire after it gets pumped for Gigaplant. We're using the Saryuja here to tell where the unspent Gigaplant is, by the way. We're going to Gigaplant off the Lone Fire and then make Beatrice. We'll be Foolishing a copy of Exodius. We're going to Gigaplant for Gigaplant, and this is the unspent one. We're going to make Traffic Ghost, and then Gigaplant for Gigaplant, and then Gigaplant for Gigaplant, and then we'll overlay for Tomy M7. M7 is going to add Exodius back to our hand, and we'll Gigaplant for Lone Fire and make Traffic Ghost, and then summon Exodius. Now we're going to go ahead and overlay for Super Dora and make Raptinus of Towers. Then we'll Lone Fire for Gigaplant, and then Gigaplant for Lone Fire, and then Lone Fire for Gigaplant. That's going to allow us to Gigaplant for Lone Fire, which is going to, after we make Beatrice and Foolish Exodia's head, Lone Fire for Gigaplant. We'll link off in Traffic Ghost, so then Gigaplant for Gigaplant, and then Gigaplant for Gigaplant, and an overlay for Tomy M7, which is going to add Exodius to our hand. We're going to Gigaplant for Gigaplant, and then link off into Traffic Ghost, which allows us to Gigaplant for Gigaplant, and then Gigaplant for Gigaplant. We're going to overlay for M7 again and add the head to our hand. And then we'll Gigaplant for Lone Fire Blossom and link off for Lambda and Saryuja. We'll summon Exodius once again, pumping it, and then Lone Fire for Gigaplant. Gigaplant is going to summon back Lone Fire, which is now going to be tributed off for Gigaplant. And here we are going to Gigaplant for Lone Fire. We're going to overlay for Beatrice and then activate the effect to Foolish Exodius. And then we'll Lone Fire for the third Gigaplant. We'll Gigaplant for Gigaplant and then link off for a copy of Traffic Ghost and then Gigaplant for Gigaplant. Gigaplant's going to summon Gigaplant and we'll overlay for M7, adding Exodius back to our hand, and then Gigaplant summons back Gigaplant. We'll make Traffic Ghost and then Gigaplant for Gigaplant, and then Gigaplant for Gigaplant. Now we'll overlay for another M7 and add Beatrice back to our extra because I forgot where we were in the loop, and then we'll Gigaplant for Lone Fire. We'll make Traffic Ghost and summon Exodius, and then overlay for Super Dora, which will make Raptinus unaffected. We'll Lone Fire for Gigaplant, and then Gigaplant for Lone Fire, and then Lone Fire for Gigaplant, and then Gigaplant for Lone Fire, and then we'll overlay for Beatrice. Beatrice is going to send the right arm, and then we'll Gigaplant off the Lone Fire and make Traffic Ghost. That's going to let us Gigaplant for Gigaplant, and then Gigaplant for Gigaplant. And we'll overlay for M7. M7 is going to add Exodius back to our hand, and then we'll Gigaplant for Gigaplant. Now we can link off into Traffic Ghost, and then Gigaplant for Gigaplant, and then Gigaplant for Gigaplant. Now we're going to overlay for M7. M7 is going to be adding the arm to our hand, and we'll Gigaplant for Lone Fire. We're almost at the final stretch. We're going to make Saryuja and activate Exodius. We're going to pump it, and then we'll Lone Fire for Gigaplant, and then Gigaplant for Lone Fire. Once again, we're using Saryuja to keep track of where the spent ones are. Gigaplant is summoned, and that will be summoning back Lone Fire. Now we're going to overlay for Beatrice and activate the effect to mill Exodius, and we'll Lone Fire for Gigaplant. Gigaplant is going to be summoning back Gigaplant, and then we'll link off into Traffic Ghost and Gigaplant for Gigaplant, and then Gigaplant for Gigaplant. Now we'll overlay for M7. M7 is going to add Exodius back to our hand. We're almost done the first sub loop. We're going to make Lone Fire and then summon Traffic Ghost. We'll make Exodius and go to Super Dora. We have finished our final sub loop. Now it's time to finish the final proper loop. We're going to Gigaplant for Lone Fire for Gigaplant, Gigaplant for Lone Fire, overlay for Beatrice. Beatrice foolishes a copy of the final limb. Then we'll Lone Fire for Gigaplant. Gigaplant summons back Gigaplant. We'll link off into Traffic Ghost. Gigaplant for Gigaplant. Gigaplant for Gigaplant. Overlay for M7. M7 adds Exodius, so we can do it later. Then Traffic Ghost is linked off into. We'll make Gigaplant with Gigaplant. Gigaplant for Gigaplant. Make M7. Add back the last limb, and that is victory by the effect of Exodia. Thank you all for watching. I'm going to Gigaplant all over.